Can you please elaborate a bit on how merely using thoughts to visualize strongly can actually bless or remove difficulties or even change karmas? Yes, absolutely. Thought forms are very, very powerful. Okay, I think maybe you are asking me, the process that you do. Are you relating it with that? Are you asking that the process that we use, how is it affecting, or you're just saying thoughts in general? If you can write about that, I will go in that direction. Please elaborate a bit on how merely using thoughts to visualize strongly can actually bless. See, when we think, um, energy follows. Okay, energy follows thoughts. Okay, so you must have seen that if you, whether you're working in a job, or you have your own business, like it happens with me. When I was also working in MNC IT industry for around 4 years, okay, and even now I observe that whenever I'm traveling or my attention is somewhere else, it affects my work. Why? Because my thoughts are diverted somewhere else, taking care of something else, and hence my thoughts and energies are going there. Whereas when you focus it on your business, on your work, you see that you are improving a lot in that. So thoughts are our thoughts are very powerful. Now, if you see about thoughts on an from an energy perspective, thoughts, you can imagine them as, small lights or small bubbles which you can charge. To start with, you can think this is only for your understanding. Okay, it may not actually be as I'm saying. For starting, you can just imagine that when you create a thought form, it is a transparent circle, it's a transparent ball. Okay, but as you keep on as you keep on thinking it again and again, it becomes stronger, it becomes like a colored opaque ball. As you keep charging it more and more with your energy, with your thoughts, it starts filling in from deep within and it keeps getting stronger and stronger. Okay, so and this thought form, it tends to rule us. Now, coming to also the habits patterns, like I said on one of the days, we were talking about it, and um, I think that the patterns which we have in our life, different patterns, they are inside us, they act like magnets. If you have observed, like people who have a tendency to be late, very simple basic example which everyone can relate to. If they have a tendency to late, you will observe that they are late every time and they will have genuine excuses, they will have genuine justifications and reasons for being late. One of the reasons for that is that they have that habit within them so strong that they automatically attract that energy to themselves. Okay, that those kind of circumstances, they automatically attract to themselves and it manifests in the expected way. Okay, now another thing about thoughts is that when you think, when you visualize, I would highly recommend everyone to watch the secret documentary. um, Whoever has asked this question, you will get a lot of answers to your questions in that documentary. So when you create a thought form, it goes into the universe. When you think an image, it goes into the universe. Okay, so universe responds to it. You align to those thoughts, you align to those frequencies. Why do you think that the people of the rich ones, they automatically start earning high from, initial days of their jobs, business, careers, because they have been seeing certain they have been thinking in a certain way, they have been seeing people around them thinking in a certain way, right? And so they are already on that frequency. The normal people may start from, 3 lakhs a month or something like that, but those guys, they may start off their business successful from initial stages itself. So that is again another power of thoughts. Now, how can you make your thought forms more powerful? When you add emotion to your thought, you just create one simple thought form that, this is my goal, I want this. But when you also add emotions to it, when you visualize it, when you start living it, when you start working towards it, it becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. So the more committed, the more faith you have towards that thought form that you have generated, the more higher are the chances of it manifesting. Now, the fuel that you need should also be present, which is the fuel of karma. Like, I might think that I want to earn 1 CR per month, but I should also have the karmic entitlement. But given that you have the karmic entitlement and your thoughts are strong, your um, with the passing days, those wishes might manifest. Or sometimes, especially, I have known this from the Kriya Shakti class of pranic healing, that when we make certain Kriya Shaktis for our goals, for our wishes, okay, so when we make that goal, automatically things align for us. Suppose you have a very, very strong, very passionate, very dedicated approach towards a goal which aims at making you earn, say, 5 lakhs a month. As you strengthen that thought form, you will realize that the entire universe strategizes to work towards it. And even karma aligns with it. Like, it has happened with me that when I have set mind on something which I really, really wanted to happen for a long, long time, no matter how difficult that was, automatically I was put in situations to generate more and more good karma so that I have the entitlement to manifest that goal of mine. Okay, so thoughts from many different angles are very powerful. Another effect of thought forms that I can right now think of is projecting on someone. Mm, suppose there is a person in your family, okay, and that person is hot tempered for various reasons, and you have an image. You have an image, your mom, your dad, your brother, your partner, everyone has the image that, okay, this person is always irritated, this person is always angry. So, what you're doing, you are throwing, it's like you're throwing missiles on that person, which stay in their system for long and long, and they start to rule them. The thought form that I was talking about, the balls of thought forms, you're lodging that thought form, again, only for explanation purpose, you're lodging that thought form into the subconscious mind, into energy body, into chakras aura of that particular person. ये आपने एक thought बनाया. फिर your mother made the same thought, your father, your dad, everyone has the same thought. So similar thoughts have a tendency to align. So these 10 different thoughts, they tend to combine together and become one big ball of thought. And that thought, just like I said, that patterns in us, they are like magnets. If you believe that you're poor, you will automatically attract, like a magnet, poverty. If you believe or have faith in something good, you will attract those. In a similar way, if you have made a huge thought form for that person, that this person is always angry, unless that person has a very strong will to overcome that anger, or with the help of healings and all, we can break those thought forms. Unless this person generates that level of willpower, or that level, or a thought form, in any ways, a thought form which is bigger than the thought ball, the thought form that you have all collectively created for him, until and unless that something like that happens, it may be very challenging for that person to come out of that anger. So this is what we call also psychic attacks, the attacks which are called within the family. This is an example of that. So highly recommended that if you have people around you who have a tendency from many, many years to do certain thing, do not energize their thought forms, do not energize their patterns, because then they stick strongly to them, and it is a challenge for them to come out of it. You must have observed this thing in your regular routines. If there is someone you tagged as lazy, if there's someone you tagged as someone who always, does any particular thing, they tend to keep doing that unless they consciously choose to work on it. That particular habit may grow, or not just because of his genetic habit or pattern, but also because of the influence of others. So this is a subtle type of psychic attack that we make on our own people. Okay, so this is all that I could think of about thoughts at this moment. And about changing the karmas. Mm, see, let's take it in the form of the present and future only. Okay, so with regards to karma, you have certain thoughts towards this person. अभी का example लेते हैं. You created this person about this, the hot ball about the person who is angry in nature. Okay. So what are you doing? You are generating negative karma. Your thought forms, your thought processes, whatever projections you do on different people, you are generating negative karma because just with this example, I'm explaining that you are, it's like you're throwing a web on that person, a very strong web, not the web like a spider web, which is very thin. You're sending your projecting strong webs on that person, which keep that person, entangled, which is it is difficult for that person to, break it off and come out of it. So your thought form towards them is generating negative karma. If you imagine that person, visualize that no, this person is being, very well behaved, very polite, very this and that, then you are also generating good karma. So the karma that we call the karma of present, you are manipulating, sorry, you are generating that good karma consciously, and hence your thought forms are leading to making changes in your karmas itself. Okay, so these are the ways in which our thought forms are very powerful, and our thought forms can affect our karmas, and it can affect hugely the people around us. Okay, even for the matter of forgiveness, when we are doing this entire routine, we keep blessing them, we keep forgiving them. So we are entirely changing the flow of energy from cursing them, cursing in the sense, saying bad things about them, to wishing well for them. So your thoughts, which are now different and new, they are contributing to changing your karma for the future. You cannot change probably the past. Your actions, you cannot undo it. Of course, you can undo the effect of the karma, but you cannot go and change your actions back in past, right? You you can only neutralize it. So in this way, by thinking the right thoughts, we can generate right and good karmas. I hope that answers your question. Thanks, Aparna ji. So the conscious thought forms and willpower and forgiveness can realign karma. Yes, yes, absolutely. It conscious thought forms, because ऐसा भी होता है ना कि see, if you're making a thought form, if you're correcting your thought processes, you're also learning a lesson, right? uh, Suppose your lesson in a particular situation, if you're suffering in a relationship, let's take an example of relationship. You're suffering in a relationship because you have a tendency to excessively criticize others. Okay. But if you consciously make a change in that using your willpower, um, your tendency to criticize is being overcome. That means that your thought form, your willpower, you're using it to change, to learn the lesson. Okay, as you change your thought forms, you start aligning with higher vibrations. Universe starts helping you in different ways, and you align with that particular thought form, and hence you are learning that particular lesson, which itself means that you will be out of that negative karmic cycle. Like I keep saying that if you fail the exam in 10th, if you don't learn what you're supposed to learn, you will have to give the exam again. But if you have learned the lessons, you will pass the exam, right? So using your thought, using your willpower, if you change your habit, if you learn your lesson, automatically you will be out of those karmic patterns also. That's why what we think, how we act, how we behave, it contributes to our future. Using the laws of using the laws of karma, we have the power to change our future, and hence this explains the realignment of karma and how we can secure our future, if not our present, how we can secure our future or at least improve it using our thought forms, using our intentions, and energy practices. Okay, thank you so much, Nick, for asking this question, because I think we covered a lot of aspects, and I'm sure a lot of people could get certain answers to their questions. Thank you, Sir P, for taking time to explain it nicely. Thank you. So just by thinking well for others, we can generate good karma. It's quite a revelation that are ignorable, that are noble thoughts about others. Praise. Oh, okay. I don't know the word that you have used. Thoughts about others create a web to bind them. Yes, yes, absolutely. It binds them. It makes it difficult for, see, the person is already weak and suffering, right? Suffering in the sense, not to the literal word of suffering, but the person's already struggling to overcome his weakness. And after that, we are. It's an action which every one of us, we do it unconsciously until we take the conscious efforts to change it. So we are constantly throwing those missiles of or we are contributing to that thought form that he's already struggling to come out of, right? So if you're contributing to that, you are keeping them stuck to the web and hence preventing them from growing in life. And if you are blocking the growth of someone, your growth may also get blocked. Negative karma, negative seeds. When I raise hands to bless Mother Earth, I feel heat radiating from my hand. Why is it so? Nirban ji, it is a good sign. We have chakras over here. Okay, so a lot of people feel tingling. A lot of people feel various sensations in their hand. They feel pressure. They feel tickling in their hand sometimes. That is because you are uh, feeling the chakra. You're sensitive to energies, and you may be feeling those chakras, and that is the energy. If you're not a pranic healer, then it's an experience for you that this what you were feeling was energy. This was wonderful. Can this section of recording be shared for review? So insightful. Thank you. Okay, I'll have to hear it myself first again, and then maybe we can share it. We can upload it somewhere. It was not structured. No, I mean, this question was put forth to me randomly. Had it been like planned and structured, I would have been more confident with putting the recording. Perhaps that's why sages say the worst thing to do is to think ill and talk ill of others and also backbite. Yes, absolutely. I mean, talking on this topic today was insightful for me also, and what they say is definitely right because our thoughts only create our reality, right? If you think in a particular way, like rich dad, poor dad thinks, two children from the same family, one of them believes, one of them thinks positive and goes, high up in the life, and the other one also uses the power of thoughts, but for their degradation. Hi, please let me know if we can do blessing for an auntie who passed away and didn't get salvation and is roaming around the yard and attacking us at night. Oh, whatever is the case, you can mention the name of that lady in the miraculous blessing list. We have the provision through that list to bless the people who are missing, the bless the people who have departed, and the ones who are admitted in hospitals. You were just in flow. It was wonderful. Okay, thank you. It was a nice explanation. Helps a lot. Thank you. Hi, please let me know if we can do blessings. Yes, I just answered you. After this explanation, all habits of bad thing. No, don't be so unrealistic. All habits of bad thinking should not, should disappear. It is a very unrealistic unrealistic thought process. However, of course, it's good to make the changes which are supposed to be made within ourselves, but do not expect yourself to just miraculously change, overnight. It is a process. It takes time. Even for me, when it happens that, there are certain repetitive circumstances around me, especially this happens with our close ones, right? When there are repetitive sessions around, behaviors around me, which are annoying me in certain way, I also tend to project. But the good thing is that because I talk on topics like this, every day to clients, to in the session sometimes, so there is an awareness. So the key is to have this awareness, to have this reminder to ourselves that we are not supposed to engage in this kind of negative repeated thinking about others, and we should also inculcate this kind of habit in others. Like, you can enlighten other people, make them aware how it must be affecting you yourself because of them, and how they may be affecting other people. We might have created so many thought forms unwholesome on others knowingly, unknowingly. What can we do about those thought forms so that they are no longer harmful on others? These healings that we do every day, no, it intends to breaking these negative energies. Okay, so first is this blessing, this healing that we do. Second, we have observed personally like n number of times, uncountable number of times, that when we do pranic psychotherapy, there's a particular color that we use in pranic psychotherapy, and that color, when it falls on such thought forms, such beings in the inner world, it tends to immediately overwhelm those thought forms, and they just get disintegrated. Okay, I'll just tell you an example of yesterday, day before yesterday night. There is one person in the far off relative in my family, and she was fighting cancer. She is fighting cancer for last 1 year, and she has been through different stages of depression also. And she was in the hospital for many days now. She was also on the ventilator, and day before yesterday morning, sorry, yesterday morning only, the doctors had said that now I think we think that you should take her home, let her spend, the last days at home, and whatever. So we did healing for them also night, day before yesterday night. And yesterday I just got a call from it was my bua. I got a call from my bua saying, something. She was just telling me, we were just having a discussion, and she forgot that I had told her that I'll get the healing started. And we were just talking something, and then she told me that the doctor said that we can keep her, keep her back in the hospital, and there is more hope now. Let us keep her here, and let us, resume with the medication and the treatment. So, this was a testimony that what I understood from the situation was that when that lady received healing for the first time ever in her life, whatever these excessive psychic attacks, thought forms, whatever projections there on her, especially when a person is admitted to hospital for a very long time, they're fighting any illness. There are a lot of projections from different people around, right? So that lady was blocked by those thought forms. And when we cleared that, just one healing was given day before yesterday night, shift happened in her energy. So the question that you asked me, that how these thought forms, etc., can be released, one through the sessions that we do, but more powerful is psychotherapy. Okay, but second may come the healings. Sorry, the sessions. We have to also understand that all these thought forms, they do not stay in the aura or in the atmosphere. Okay, the thought forms which are weak, they just fly away. Like like it happened with me. Some time back, I had a heated conversation, very subtly heated conversation with someone. It had a lingering effect in my mind, and I was just disturbed for some time. And then after some time, I just forgot about it because I got busy with my work, right? So what happened in that process, that I was holding on to some hurt that happened to me, and then I got busy with something else. So my thought form shifted from here, my energy projection shifted from that hurt to my work. So what happened, that the energies that were released, the thought forms that were released from within me, from that person, probably they also got busy. So that thought form was not supplied energy from me or from the other person, and hence that thought form faded off. It disintegrated because it was not charged up. ओके, इट्स लाइक एग्जाम में हम लोग रिवीजन करते रहते हैं, तब वो जाकर दिमाग में फिट होता है ना. सिमिलर वे, दिस थॉट फॉर्म, इफ यू आर एनर्जाइजिंग इट अगेन एंड अगेन एंड अगेन एवरी डे, it will become stronger. But if it is only a one time or a short duration thought form, it's very easy to disintegrate it. So don't worry, they're not lying there in the atmosphere. They might have, most of them might have just gone disintegrated. That's why uh, lot of healing and these processes are needed more for the people closer to us, because if someone has a tendency to trigger something within us, and if we keep seeing that person again and again and again, then you might just tag and keep projecting and energizing their bubble every other day, right? Hence making it stronger, bigger, and more difficult to break. So any of you who think that I mean, after this conversation, if you have a thought form that ऐसे तो कितने सारे thought forms होंगे which we might have created over 20, 30, 50, 70 years of our life, don't worry, those thought forms do not stay in the air. And if you know pranic psychotherapy, it's super, super powerful. Use it to break and disintegrate these thought forms. Do it repeatedly. If you have if you have charged up that ball of thought form for several years, it's not going to go away in a day. Most probably. Okay, not most probably. It may not go away within a day, because we have seen miracles happening like that also. But if you keep practicing it every day, if you keep working on that thought form, you have to change the pattern. Another way is to create a thought form which is stronger than the earlier thought form. Suppose आपने 2 साल किसी को टैग कर दिया, you're lazy, you're lazy, you're lazy. But in the next few days, if you tag that person as no, you will overcome it, you will be on time, you will be this, that, whatever, the positive ball that you make, that positive ball, if if over the days it becomes bigger than the negative ball, then your positive ball has a tendency to influence, and because you're not no more feeding that old ball of negative thought, but you have shifted your focus to a positive thought, that older thought form may not get the energy, the food that it needs to sustain. It will eventually break down or get smaller. Okay, so this is also one of the ways to break it. Miraculous blessing list, please check it in the WhatsApp group description. Cutting cords can also be helpful for the same. See, cutting cords is a very subjective thing, first of all. If you think that cutting your cord once will cut your relationship with someone, impossible. Suppose, okay, let's take example of cords only. Suppose you've cut the cord today, you're going back home, okay? You're going back home, or you're restoring your normal life, and you have again started connecting with that person. Suppose certain cords with your mom were connected. You go back home, you meet your mom again, and after a few hours, or after whenever is the next opportunity, you start thinking the same about her. So what are you doing? Whatever the cord was disconnected, you're projecting that cord again. So we need to take conscious efforts if we want to cut certain cords with certain people. Some cords can definitely be cut and stay cut for long time, but there are some cords which may not get cut by the manual cutting process that as a part of the healing sessions that we do. They may not get cut. You have to consciously practice forgiveness, practice positive thinking, positive visualization, change your habits. You have to consciously these things to disconnect these cords permanently from your system. To change energies by praying or singing or working can uplift. Yes, absolutely. How do we remove bubbles others have laid on us? As too many people are doing it ignorantly. Yes, absolutely. A lot of people are doing it ignorantly. You can use these techniques which I told you: pranic psychotherapy, blessing, forgiving, and creating a thought form about yourself which is stronger than the bubbles which you're talking about the other people have laid on you. Create bubbles which are bigger and stronger than them, right? Positive energy is way more powerful than the negative energy. You must have seen that you're feeling very low, very low, very low. Constantly you're feeling low. And if you shift your mind to thinking positive in that same situation, ki no, I don't want to be fearful. I'm courageous. I'm this, I'm that, using positive affirmations. Automatically, you are overpowering that little bubble with a bigger bubble, and it's like it's engulfing it and khatam, disintegrating it. Okay, so this thing can be done. Pranic psychotherapy can be done, and sessions can help you. Yeah, all these things can be done. And again, one more thing, which I'm going to talk about tomorrow, hopefully, that a lot of us think that anyone can access us, anyone can project on us. What do you think? I'm sitting over here, 200 people every day attending the session. They also project certain energies. Like, just for example, I'll tell you, because I'm sensitive, I could feel that on the initial days when we started prosperity healings, there were few days. First day, nothing happened. Second, third day, again, there were network disturbances. And suddenly, in the middle of the session, I felt very, very angry. My eyes were closed. I felt, certain emotion in me. And I just quickly opened my eyes because I was uncomfortable. And there I saw that there were a lot of comments and also about the net fluctuation. So that was a thought which was projected on me by 200 people to 50 people at a time at the same moment. So it reached me, it affected me. But as I proceeded ahead in the session, that feeling was gone. Why? One of the reasons could be because I was being a source of the healing energies, or we were doing healing in the session. Those energies were gone. On one of the days, they also stayed. But after that day, there are certain techniques in pranic healing through which we can shield ourselves from the negative projections of others. So then I carefully started using a more powerful shield on myself, and that's how I could prevent myself from being affected by the bubbles sent on others. Okay, this is another thing. And one more thing is about the karma, which I was going to talk tomorrow, because a lot of people have a misconception that I have psychic attack, me, or, not me, that person or someone in their family or whatever, whatever. किसी ने black magic कर दिया, someone has whatever, nazar lag gaya and all those things. These things will happen only when you are entitled to it. I was going to share this story tomorrow, but since we are talking about it, there was a case that came to me, I think around 6, 8 months back from one of my friends, and we scanned that person. They saw some bone outside their house, and some problems were started, physical problems in their families. So my friend told me that would be, since you are working in this field, help him, yeah, whatever, whatever. So he sent the pictures of their entire family. And when we scanned the family, they were two sons and mom and dad. So when we scanned, one of the parent was highly affected, the other parent less affected, the brother less affected, and the friend of my friend who contacted him, that person was just not affected by this entire scenario. Why? Like, he was surprised when I told him my findings. He was surprised that how come is it possible? um, he started wondering. Then I asked him, is he, spiritual? Is he religious? Does he do follow any god, etc.? And that person told me that he's a evident follower of Lord Hanumana, and he does chants and this, that, everything, Hanuman Chalisa, etc. So, two things that came to me at that moment, two lessons, they were there for me. First, that he was probably uh, protecting himself through the chants, through the belief in God. There are natural, invisible helpers that are there around you to protect you. And second thing, that you also need to have the karma to be attacked by someone. Okay, psychically attacked, and the proper black magics also. If you do not have the entitlement, nothing will affect you. You might have heard of stories from, in the news, and you might have read that this attack happened, this war happened, this natural calamity happened, and the entire family vanished. They all, died, and only one or two persons somehow they managed to escape. There was firework in a war zone. Everyone was killed except a handful of people. Why? Because they were not entitled to be killed at that moment, because they did not generate the karma of hurting other people. That's why it's important to have the right thoughts towards other people, right intention towards other people. Because if you do not have, for example, if you don't have money in your account, what will you withdraw? In a similar way, if you don't have the negative karma of harming other people, no matter what psychic attacks are done on you, you will not be affected. Okay, so karma also plays a role. Don't just, feel weak, everyone, and don't get conscious that people may be attacking. This might be thinking about me, this, that, whatever, etc. Don't do that, because you also have your own self-protecting energies. Your aura is also self-cleansing in a certain way, and your karma is very important here. If you don't want to be harmed in any way, no one can harm you if you have the right karmas with you. Okay, so. So forgiveness too can be like the spiritual shield against thought bubbles. Forgiveness with the logic that when you do forgiveness, there's a lot of energy of love in your system. आप लोगों ने observe किया होगा that when you are happy, when you're in love, like if you have seen people around, like it happens in our family that um, if someone is engaged newly, they tend to go through that courtship honeymoon period, and they are very happy all the time, this, that, everything. So you might have observed that if this person, with this person happening, suddenly happening, that this person is all the time happy, not getting affected, not getting angry anymore, whatever, this is not magic. This is okay, this is the magic. This is a magic of love. Okay, when there are a lot of loving energies in the system of a person, it is difficult for that person to get irritated, get annoyed, get affected by the thought bubbles of other people. So being filled with love, I don't mean, this was just an example, I don't mean just the love that we have towards our partner, but also if your heart chakra is activated, automatically it's like a tap khula hota hai, a tap of water. In a similar way, the supply of loving energies is high, and that keeps spreading or staying into your aura. The pink light keeps staying into your aura, and it prevents you. It's like a natural shield. Loving energies are a natural shield. If that bubble of thought is projected on you, it will automatically just burst, or it will not even affect you and get transmuted or disintegrate, because the love energy has a very high transmuting effect. So when you do forgiveness, it's an act of compassion, it's an act of mercy, it's an act of kindness. So the amount of energies in your system, amount of loving energies in your system automatically increase, and you're automatically spiritually shielded against these thought projections by others. Okay. So even love and devotion to God is the best shield, I suppose. Yes, maybe. I cannot think of any specific example right now of what you said, but definitely yes. Um, you have that faith, right? What is faith? Faith is also a thought form. You have that faith that no, I'm protected. Whatever anchor you use, whatever external source you use to build that faith. A lot of us in India specifically have different gods. I बहुत सारे लोग हनुमान चालीसा करते हैं. When they are scared, when they are fearful, they chant, they start chanting. So through that chanting, they also tend to create shields around them. And also because of the love, because of the faith, because of the devotion in God, there is a natural shield that comes to you. So basically, for me, I have dissected it in a way that, in a way, sorry, in a way, you're using your faith, your devotion towards God, um, as a anchor to create a certain strong willpower and a thought form. Okay, like for example, huh, let's take example of medicines. Of those medicines, the sugar pills, which actually have no, which actually have no drugs in them. There's no chemical composition except sugar into those pills. Placebo, yes, if that's how it's pronounced. So those pills, after taking those pills, we have seen that we have that automatic strength. When you even take medicines, you have that automatic strength that अब मैंने medicine ले लिया, nothing will happen to me. My fever will automatically go down, because that is what it happens when I take medicine. You have a pattern from past, so you know the routine. Like for me, it happens. I have a routine of a certain, medication when I get cough and cold. So what is placebo effect? In a way that you have so strong belief on that medicine that even if you are not given the real drug, you still get recovered, you still get healed. Why? Because of that strong will, because of that strong belief and faith in that medicine, right? So in a similar way is devotion to God, that if I'm doing, for example, if I'm worshipping certain god, like I've seen my masis and all around me, they're so devoted to God that they draw their strength from there. They have so much of faith even in rough times. And I was when long time back, like an year or two, when I was, just beginning of thinking about this devotion and all, I was observing. I went to her house actually, and what you call, some of us, you must be knowing, Laddu Gopal and Thakurji, she does for that. And I saw her faith and her devotion, and it is just skyrocketing. That faith, that devotion that she has, it helps her sail, in the rough times. She has so much of faith that When there are problems, she has that belief that no, my God will protect me and everything will fall in place. So basically, using God's faith, using the faith on God, you are creating an anchor in your life to project that strong willpower, that strong thought form, which acts, which governs your body. Okay, so governs, sorry, not your body, which governs your life. So devotion and faith, it can also do miracles. From my logical thinking, that I think, even if I consider that there is nothing that God is doing to anyone, even if we consider from the willpower aspect, the willpower because of the faith becomes so strong that even if there's an adversity happening to you, you may just safeguard yourself from that because of the strength of thought that you have. Okay, so yes, love because of the energy, and devotion because of the willpower can shield a person. Got a lot of questions today, and I really like the discussion. So I think that's all about it. Maybe I'll try to extract this recording and put it up on our free Facebook group so that everyone can access it. Any other questions, anyone? Thank you, Nick, and the other people, for your questions, for your interest. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had this long and fruitful discussion. Okay, thank you. Okay, so we'll close for today. Let's do a short invocation to the Supreme God, to higher beings, higher ones. Lord God, thank you for all the insights. Thank you for all the lessons. Thank you for all the eye-opening knowledge that all of us, including me, got a reminder of, got a angle to view at life. Thank you, God, for this enlightenment. Thank you for letting us be a part of this discussion. Thank you for letting us be the chosen ones, the chosen 40, 60 ones to be enlightened of this part of life. Thank you, God, for your teachings. Thank you. May these teachings, may these insights be with me for the years to come and help me improve my life in whichever way it can. Thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And we will meet tomorrow again at 9. Good night. Atma Namaste.